Hello, I'm Perry from Rennet and Rind, and I am talking to you today because you received a lovely mystery box. And if you're sharing with friends, I'm here to explain why I selected those cheese. So a little bit about myself. I am now Britain's third-time affineur of the year. An affineur is someone who matures cheese, who uses selective pressure such as brushing, washing, turning to get the best out of their cheese. We do a bit of batch selecting as well. When we see an amazing cheese, we buy a lot of it. We've got some examples of today when we do farm visits. And hopefully this will just enlighten you a little bit of why I've selected it, what I think about them, and try and get a real raw, viewing of me saying, I'm a world cheese judge, I've matured cheese, I'm pretty much very good at it because the awards I've won. Sounds a little bit braggy. Maybe I should be braggy every now and again. And just connect you with what we're doing here at Rennet and Rind a little bit more. So without further ado, you have got your tasting notes, which you can work through if you can't sit through a 10-minute video of me talking about cheese and rambling on a little bit. But let's get into it. So we've got Wigmore, which is our first cheese up. So sheep's milk, village-made cheeses, amazing cheese makers. And they're featuring twice on this board. I got quite excited. I went to visit them, made some cheese with them, and got quite excited about the prospect of having their cheeses, because when you're there, so this was like the core structure around these kind of cheeses that I wanted to find some supporting acts that were there. So Wigmore is a wash curd sheep's milk cheese, which you'll notice has this Geo is wrinkly, no, like camemberty type rind that's on there, and essentially you can get that, these molds are quite responsible for the mushroomy kind of notes that's in there. So we've got a nice little curdy set that's in there, a nice little ivory colour, nice and white, sheep's milk, so you tend to get more ivory. The aroma is really, really light. Towards the rind, you're getting more butter mushrooms that you put together, boom, boom, boom. That's it, but very, very light. Still a little bit cold in here. We're running around about 8.5 degrees at the moment in the finishing room. So let's have a little taste. Very chewy, which is nice, but beautiful paste that kind of dissipates really well. Salt balance is really nice. We operate in this area where I find it extremely savoury, actually. A different light kind of chickeny broth kind of area, like really thin miso kind of, what do you call it? Like a kind of a miso dish that you get, which has bits of seaweed and kelp in. Really, really light and thin, but a really nice warming place to start off. A little bit one-directional in terms of that flavour, which is very savoury forward, but it's got tons of length. That acidity is really nice. Becomes a bit seawatery with that length as the meatiness begins to move away. That's a really delicious cheese, actually. That's totally Moorish. It feels like you can keep on going back more and more. So next cheese we have up is a goat's cheese. So we're going through all the animals in this board. And this is Rachel, which is made by Roger Longman down in White Lake. Guy's addicted to making cheese. Released a couple this month already. But Rachel's always been a firm favourite. Hasn't appeared on the board in over, I think, 8 months. But this is a perfect time for it to shine because it's quite nuanced and it's a really great accessible cheese, just like the first one for those people that go, no, I don't like goat's cheese, I don't like sheep's cheese. So we've got this beautiful rind on the outside, a little bit of chrysosporium that's on the outside, which is great, which is this lovely flat surface mould, which only grows on these types of cheeses and other cheeses with rinds that are slightly washed. The aroma is savoury again. A little bit of kind of goaty on the aroma, a little bit closer. I know on this one the rind holds a lot of the goaty kind of esque-ness. I mean, everyone laughs when I say goatiness, but hey, it is what it is. So let's go in. So a little bit more rambunctious than usual. That sweetness is dialed down a little bit, and we've got a little bit more of that savoury ebb that's in there in replacement for kind of more nut. It's very nutty and sweet. And with the rind, it's got a little acidic kind of zip that's coming in from a slightly ammoniated rind, a slightly wetter rind when maturing, but it adds a little bit of complexity there, which is really nice and Moorish. Texture is beautiful, a little bit pliant, kind of roux-like, dissipates really, really well. Intermingles really, really well with the Wigmore. Great cheese. That's Rachel. Next one up, brand new cheese. Mystery cheese box, first timers, subscribers, exclusive. Straight from, as I said, village made cheeses. Got excited to see what they were working on and stumbled upon this little Heckfield, which is a kind of cheddary style. It's a mix of loads of things kind of all together. But I was really impressed by it, and we're going to be stocking it in the shop, which is amazing. Because I find it's quite interesting. It sits in this weird territorial area, just like the next cheese we're going to have, but actually gives a lot. So this one, the batches that we selected were aged for over 12 months, so very, very strong. You can see from the good quality, I think it's Guernsey milk that they use, or Jersey milk, sorry. It's got this rich golden light colour, even though it's got a high moisture content. The aroma is sharp. It smells very lemony, very acidic, very acid. A little bit of cider kind of vinegar kind of in that area. Let's have a go. It is violent. It's really, really cool. This cheese, for me, and I may be doing them an injustice, but it's an artisan cheese produced by great cheesemakers for made cheeses that have been around for ages. But for me, the people that like Black Bomber, I think this works for them. The level of sharpness that's in there and that cheddar that comes through, and then once it's finished on the palate, you get this nice grassy kind of note coming through from the good quality milk. A nice milky finish on the palate, just like you've had a glass of milk and that lingers around. Crystallization as well. There's a bit of tyrosine that's in there, which is amazing. Really cool cheese. Burns a little bit from that high acidity. I think this is a really great, and I want to see this on more cheese counters, because I feel like this bridges the gap between territorials, mass-made cheese really well. It's a great stepping stone. I mean, the length is phenomenal, but the power feels phenomenal. It feels really robust and big, like a big glass of red wine. So that stepping stone between buying mass-made cheeses and artisan seems quite wide, but this one is a really, really beautiful example that I think lends from both worlds perfectly. So a really good, it tastes delicious. I'm going to finish that if I don't stop. And that's Heckfield Village Made Cheeses. I'm expecting to see loads more of that around, actually. I think it's a cheese that we've been looking for a while, not only at Rennet and Ryan, but in the British cheese industry. So savour that and think about that a lot. It's very, very exciting. Next cheese up, our old friends, Yoredale, Wensleydale, Ben and Sam Spence. Amazing cheesemakers, amazing human beings. This is a proper pre-war recipe of Wensleydale. And we've recently been working with people like Neil Yard, Fine Cheese, as part of a collaborative group on how do we protect these cheeses. You may have received the survey that I sent out for us to have a round table to find out why these cheeses aren't selling as much as they should be, because they're amazing. Common answer is that everyone thinks Wensleydale is related to really big supermarket style cheddars. And and that puts people off. When actually there's these really amazing artisan batches, which is this. And we've got this lovely colour actually, far more richer than I'm used to on this batch. Lovely fresh milk, creme fraiche aroma that's coming off there. Rind is a touch musty, not mushroomy, which is good. This is like typically cloth bound, how Wensleydale should be made. I love showing this to people. I can already feel tucking as a texture is going to be a great cheese. And I think this is going to be really, really popular. People have it and it kind of, they're like, oh, that's a Wensleydale. It's far more drier than a usual Wensleydale. More rigidity actually in the curd, less kind of crumble, more sticky, but has this amazing aromatic kind of like bitter, acidic note, which just moves into so many permeations. And like on the board, it kind of feels like a breath of fresh air for me. There's nothing like aggressive going, there's nothing not to like in there, if that makes sense. And it really resets the palate. I always love territorial style cheeses for what they do for other cheeses. They're completely selfless on the board and they very rarely make a massive statement, but they provide so much. You can keep on going back to this to kind of get a little taste of Wigmore again and get that first experience. Fantastic, Yoredale, Wensleydale. Keep on supporting the Wensleydale, not the mass-made stuff. Next we have Spark and Oak Blue, which is made by the Clark family, who are going through some difficulties at the moment. A little bit of a TB outbreak on their farm. You don't have to worry about the cheese, by the way. Not that I need to say that, but I think Clarkson's farm has brought a lot of view into kind of how difficult it is to farming. So we gave them a call and said, how can we support you at the moment? They said, buy more Spark & Red Leicester. I suggest doing that, it's amazing. And the blue is amazing at the moment. So here we are, supporting them through this difficult period. It's a part of nature, a part of farming, but a really difficult one. So this is also amazing cheese, which is easy. It's easy to support someone when the cheese is amazing. So we've got this kind of more rusty kind of colour, a little bit more kind of together. I mean, the aroma, I smell this, is phenomenal. It is pure malty, digestive, like just the finest like feed. I get a real kind of like cattle feeding vibe from the aroma, which you might not understand, but you know, go to a cheesemaker once in a while and you kind of know when the quality of feed is great because you can kind of smell it in the cheese. Really, really nice. Texture is like this dual rubberiness, but really together. A lot of like take as well. Really, really pleasant and savoury. A huge amount of kind of that salt Parma ham area, which you know I love. That digestive element comes in. Right, that maltiness is working as well. Intermixed between a beef kind of area with that salt going on and that Parma ham kind of vibe. Nice finish. Really aromatic. That's a lovely blue. That's a good, it doesn't feel like it, but it's a good entry level blue because it just leans into this savoury area so aggressively. So Spark & O blue. And that's your lot from me. That is your 5 cheeses for the month of, what were we in, August? Yeah. Once again, you know, we've been doing this for 5 years. Every month, me in here, the maturing rooms, maturing cheese for you, winning awards, judging cheese, supporting an amazing industry, and thank you for supporting us. We wouldn't be here, and these cheesemakers wouldn't be here without you. And I love how passionate everyone's getting about what we do and British cheese, because we are very, very good at it. So thank you very much, and look after yourself, and I'll see you next month.